Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special episode of our English podcast. My name's Emma, and today we're going to have a wonderful and inspiring conversation about learning English, staying motivated, and believing in yourself even when the journey feels difficult. I am so excited to share this moment with you, and I'm even more excited because I'm not alone. With me today is my good friend, John, who has his own story about learning English and how it changed his life. We are here to talk openly, honestly, and in a way that will help you practice your listening, improve your understanding, and maybe even inspire you to keep studying harder. So, John, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Emma. I'm doing really well, and I'm so happy to be here. This feels special, because learning English is something that has completely transformed my life. And I know it has done the same for so many people around the world. I think sometimes we don't realize how powerful it can be too. Learn a new language. It's not just about grammar and vocabulary. It's about opening doors to opportunities, building confidence, and connecting with people from different cultures. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today, and I hope our listeners will find it helpful, encouraging, and maybe even life-changing in some way.
Exactly, John, because that's the purpose of this episode. We want to remind our listeners that they are not alone in this journey, and that every single person who is fluent today once started as a beginner. So let's dive deep into why learning English is such a powerful and important skill in today's world.
Emma, I think one of the most essential things people need to understand is that English today is not just a language, it's a bridge. It's a bridge that connects you to opportunities, knowledge, and people all around the world. If you think about it, English is the international language of business, technology, science, travel, and even entertainment. When you can speak and understand English, you don't just learn words, you unlock doors. For example, you can watch movies without subtitles. You can read books and articles that are not translated. You can apply for jobs in companies that work globally. And you can even make friends in countries you've never been to. I think this is what makes English so powerful. It gives you freedom to go beyond the limits of your own environment.
Yes, John, I agree completely. And for me, it's not only about the practical side. Learning English also changes the way you see yourself. When you start to speak English, even if it's just a few words at first, you begin to feel proud of yourself. You feel like you're growing, like you're adding a new skill that makes you stronger. And when you're able to hold a conversation in English with someone from another country, the feeling is magical. It's like you are no longer limited by your location or your background. You become a citizen of the world. That's why I always tell people learning English is not only about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It's about confidence, connection, and growth.
That's beautifully said, Emma, and many people think English is difficult, but the truth is, every big skill feels hard in the beginning. Think about driving a car, or learning how to use a computer, or even cooking a complicated dish. At first, it's confusing. You make mistakes, and you feel like you will never get it right. But if you keep trying, step by step, suddenly it becomes natural. The same thing happens with English. It might feel like a mountain in the beginning, but once you climb it, you can see a completely new world from the top.
Exactly. And another important reason why English matters is access to information. Think about it, most of the world's knowledge is written or shared in English scientific research. Online courses, educational videos, business materials, you name it. If you want to learn new skills or gain advanced knowledge, English gives you direct access. Without it, you depend on translations, and translations are often late, incomplete, or not available at all. So learning English is like giving yourself the key to the biggest library in the world.
That's such a powerful image, Emma. The key to the biggest library in the world. Because learning English isn't just about passing an exam or finishing a course, it's about investing in yourself for life. It's about building a future where you are free to choose, free to travel, free to study, and free to dream without limits. That's why English matters.
John, I think sharing my own journey might help our listeners understand that learning English is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When I first started, I was completely afraid. I could barely say a sentence without making mistakes. And every time I tried to speak, I felt nervous, embarrassed, and sometimes frustrated. I remember sitting alone in my room, listening to English songs, repeating words over and over, and sometimes crying because I felt like I would never get it right. But I also remember something very important. I did not give up. Every day, I committed myself to a little progress, even if it was small. I started reading simple stories, watching short videos, and speaking with friends who were also learning. It was slow at first, but over time, I began to notice a change. Words that used to confuse me became familiar. Sentences that I couldn't say before started to flow naturally. I realized that learning English is like planting a seed. You water it with time, patience and effort, and eventually, it grows into something beautiful and strong.
That's so inspiring, Emma, and I think listeners need to hear that. The part where you felt fear and frustration. Because so many people feel exactly the same way. They see others speaking English fluently and think, I'll never be like that, but the truth is, every fluent speaker started as a beginner. And what you did is exactly what matters. You kept going, step by step, day by day, even when it felt impossible.
Yes, John, and one thing I learned is that mistakes are not failures, they are lessons. Every mistake I made helped me understand something new. Every sentence I mispronounced taught me to focus on pronunciation. Every time I didn't understand, I learned patience and strategies to improve. I also surrounded myself with motivation. I listened to podcasts, read stories, and joined groups where people shared their learning journey. This made me feel supported and less alone. Slowly, English stopped being scary. It became a tool I could use to achieve my dreams.
That is so powerful, Emma. I think the key here is persistence and believing that every small step counts. Your story shows that even when you start with fear and difficulty, you can reach fluency if you stay determined and keep practicing.
Exactly, John. And to anyone listening, I want you to remember this. Your journey may feel long, it may feel hard, and you may make mistakes, but each step brings you closer to your goal. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, every conversation you attempt builds your confidence, knowledge, and ability. Don't rush, don't compare yourself to others. And most importantly, don't give up. English is not just a subject, it's a key to your dreams, your future, and your connection to the world.
Thank you, Emma. I think sharing our personal experiences is one of the most powerful ways to motivate others. For me, learning English started because I wanted to travel, meet people from different countries, and improve my career opportunities. But the journey wasn't easy. I struggled with grammar, pronunciation, and listening. Sometimes I felt like giving up, but I kept telling myself, I can do this if I keep trying. I started practicing every day, even for 30 minutes, listening to podcasts, reading books, and speaking to friends. Slowly, the words started making sense. Sentences began to flow. And more importantly, I gained confidence. I realized that learning English is not about being perfect. It's about improving every day and believing in your ability to grow.
That's so relatable, John. Many learners think they have to be perfect from the beginning, but the truth is, nobody is perfect when they start. Progress is built from small steps, persistence, and patience. And what I love about your story is how you turned challenges into motivation. Every time you struggled, you didn't stop. You found a way to learn, to practice, and to improve.
Exactly, and I want our listeners to understand that learning English can truly change your life. It opens doors to better jobs, higher education, and new friendships. It also gives you confidence to speak in public, travel with ease, and understand cultures different from your own. The more you practice, the more opportunities you create for yourself. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every conversation becomes experience. And every effort builds your future.
John, I think one of the most important things we can talk about is struggles. Learning English is exciting, but it's also challenging. Many people feel frustrated when they don't understand a movie, a book, or even a simple conversation. They compare themselves to others and feel they are behind. But that's normal. Everyone faces these challenges. The key is not to let frustration stop you. Instead, use it as fuel to keep learning. Every difficulty is an opportunity to improve.
Absolutely. Some people think they are too old, or they started too late, but age doesn't matter. Motivation, discipline, and consistency matter. Even 10 minutes every day, if practiced correctly, can make a huge difference over time. And don't forget, mistakes are part of learning. If you are not making mistakes, it means you are not trying enough. Embrace your mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward.
Yes, and another struggle is confidence. Many learners are afraid to speak because they think they will look foolish. But the truth is, every fluent speaker was once afraid too. Confidence grows when you practice, when you speak, and when you allow yourself to make mistakes.
Motivation is like the engine that keeps you moving. Emma, how did you stay motivated when you felt tired or frustrated?
I kept reminding myself why I started. I ask, what will I gain if I give up? What will I gain if I keep going? I also set small goals, like learning 5 new words a day, or understanding a short video. Each small achievement gave me a sense of progress. I celebrated these little victories, and slowly, motivation grew naturally.
Exactly. Motivation doesn't always come naturally. You have to create it. Surround yourself with positive influences. Listen to English podcasts, watch inspiring videos, and read stories that encourage learning. Over time, motivation becomes a habit, and learning English becomes enjoyable rather than stressful.
Now let's give our listeners some practical tips. First, listen every day. Even 10 minutes of listening improves understanding. Second, speak as much as possible. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Third, read simple books, articles, and news in English. Fourth, write down new words and phrases and review them regularly.
And I would add, set clear goals. For example, I will speak English with a friend for 10 minutes today. Or I will understand one English podcast without subtitles this week. Goals. Give your learning direction and make progress measurable.
Learning. English isn't only about studying words, it's also about connecting with people. When you can speak English, you can make friends worldwide, travel without fear, and understand different cultures. It's like opening a door to the world.
Yes, and understanding culture helps improve language naturally. Movies, songs, news, speak and feel. Language and culture are inseparable, and exploring both makes learning English exciting.
John, one of the biggest reasons people learn English is for career opportunities. Speaking English fluently can give you access to multinational companies, online jobs, and global businesses. It increases your earning potential and allows you to compete in an international market.
Absolutely. But it's more than money, it's about confidence, credibility, and the ability to connect with anyone around the world. English gives you freedom to achieve. professional goals that might otherwise be impossible.
English is a tool to achieve your dreams. If your dream is to travel, work, study abroad, or build your own business, English will help you get there faster. When you see language as a key to your goals, learning becomes easier and more meaningful.
Exactly. Think about your future and what you want to achieve. Every new word, every conversation, and every lesson brings you closer to your dreams. Focus on progress, not perfection, and you will see results over time.
To our listeners, remember this: learning English is a journey, not a race. Be patient, stay consistent, and celebrate every step you take. Surround yourself with positivity, practice daily, and never compare yourself to others.
Yes, keep believing in yourself. You're capable of more than you think. If you commit, practice, and stay motivated, you can speak English fluently and achieve amazing things.
Thank you for joining us in this special episode. We hope our stories and experiences inspire you to continue learning English. Remember, every small step counts. Every effort matters, and your journey is unique. Keep going!
Yes, thank you everyone. Stay motivated, practice daily, and remember, the only limit is the one you place on yourself. We believe in you, and you can do it.
See you in the next episode. Keep learning, stay positive, and enjoy the journey.